Hi friends, today's video is sponsored by Hydragun. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll share a discount code for this amazing tool I use for muscle recovery. We're going to begin today's flow in a cross-legged seated position. If this is ever uncomfortable on your hips or knees, you can take a block or pillow underneath the bum so that you're able to sit up nice and tall and ease any discomfort there. When you're situated, inhale the arms up to the sky, stretching and lengthening out the spine, and as you exhale, fold forward, taking the hands out in front of your legs on the mat. From here, you can adjust yourself, either placing the head on the mat, folding forward, letting the spine curve out, or if the mat feels far away, you can take the head onto a yoga block or pillow to help the head reach the floor. Breathe nice and deep and even as you feel the hips start to open. Slowly walk the hands off towards the right edge of your mat, feeling a little openness in the left side of the body, staying folded forward as much as you can, keeping your sit bones connected to the floor. Slowly walk your hands back through center and over towards the left edge of your mat. Again, feeling that right sit bone stay connected to your mat and feeling the right side of your body start to open up and stretch. As we're folded here, send your breath into your back body. Imagine your lungs expanding along your spine. As you walk the hands back towards center, maybe inhale and take a long spine and exhale to fold back down, creating a little bit more space. Inhale as you walk the hands back towards your legs to sit up tall and bring the weight forward onto hands and knees in a tabletop position. Align your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees before extending the right leg behind you, keeping the right toes tucked so you have a straight long leg, and then rocking the weight forward and backwards, feeling that stretch into your hamstring along the entire back of your leg. Use your core to keep a nice long line from the heel up to your head as you rock back and forth, opening up the hamstring, and then take the right knee back to the mat. Extend the left leg behind you just like we did the right. Nice and long line, and rock the weight back and forward, opening up the hamstring on this leg, keeping it nice and straight, and just rocking on the ball of the foot. After 5 or 6 times back and forth, replace the knee, tuck both toes under, place the hands about shoulder width apart, and take the bum to the sky for your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths to pedal out the heels here, feeling the hamstrings open a bit more as you lengthen out the spine. Take the gaze between the knees. If you need to keep both knees bent in order to keep the spine nice and long, that's perfectly fine. Stretch the left heel towards the floor as you bend the right knee, and then switch and push the right heel towards the floor. On an inhale, start a slow walk up to the hands, taking baby steps and trying to keep the legs nice and straight before exhaling in your forward fold. Inhale to a flat back about halfway up, taking hands to shins or knees, and then exhale, forward fold. Take a few breaths here to do what feels good in your body, maybe pedaling out the knees, grabbing opposite elbows and letting the torso hang heavy, swinging side to side, or wiggling the hips. And then bend the knees enough to plant your hands on the mat in front of your feet. Heel toe the feet about as wide as your mat, toes pointed outwards, turned out to about a 45-degree angle, and then let the bum sink low into a malasana or garland pose, also called a yogi squat. Showing you what that looks like from the front. As our bum sinks towards our heels, we're going to take our hands to prayer in front of the chest and sort of use our elbows to open up the knees and hips. If your heels are not on the mat, that's totally fine. You can also take a pillow or block underneath the bum to help support you and keep the spine nice and tall. From our yogi squat, we're going to take 8 to 10 frog squats. So we're going to plant our hands in front of us, and then as we inhale, take the bum to the sky, leaving the feet where they are, and then exhale the bum back down to our squat. Inhale, bum high, exhale to sink the bum towards the mat. Take this 8 or 10 times. You will soon start to feel those hamstrings fire up. This is a great workout for strengthening and lengthening the hamstrings. Try to stay with your breath and go at your own pace. 8 to 10 reps. When you've finished your squats, settle back into your yogi squat, taking a deep inhale and exhale here, feeling the hips stretch and open, and relax those hamstrings before planting the hands and heel toe the feet back towards each other, exhaling in your forward fold. Take a few moments to wiggle and shake out those hamstrings you just worked, and then we're going to inhale into our chair pose. We sweep the hands along the floor and lower the bum like you're sitting back into a chair, taking the hands high, a nice long spine. Option to have the feet close with knees touching or feet about as wide as your hips, whatever is most comfortable for your body. Activate the core to stay nice and strong here. You'll immediately start to feel those quads switch on. Take your hands to heart center and peel the right heel off the mat. Extend the leg behind you, touching the toe, and then replacing it back to chair pose. Same thing with the left leg. Peel the heel, tap the toe behind you, and return to chair. Take this 3 times on each side, extending, and then replace. Extend left leg, tap the toe, and come back to that chair pose. Try and stay nice and strong in the bent leg, as it will start to get tired. You can do it last time on the left leg, come back to chair. This time as you step back with the right foot, we're going to open up to our warrior 2. So our right heel meets the mat and our hips are open towards the long edge of the mat, arms at a T, gaze over the front hand, keeping a bend in the left leg. Take an exhale here and inhale as you reverse your warrior, taking left hand to the sky. Right hand can brace itself on the back leg or tuck behind the low back. As your left leg gets tired, it's going to try to straighten out. Consciously keep the bend in the front knee. Gaze to the sky and exhale back to warrior 2. Inhale to star pose, straightening out that tired leg, opening up arms and legs towards the side of the mat. And then take hands to prayer and exhale to goddess squat. So both legs are bent, toes pointed out, taking some bounces here, about 20, just moving a couple inches up and down, feeling those quads burn, staying nice and tall, shoulders back, and keeping that deep squat in both knees. When you've reached your 20, open back up to star pose, stretching out the legs, and exhale back to warrior 2. Left leg is bent. Inhale to a high lunge as you take the back heel off the mat, square off the hips towards the top of the mat. Arms are at the sky, still bending deep into the front leg, and our right leg is nice and straight. If you want to take this to the next level, lift both heels off the mat and balance here on the balls of the feet. Hinge forward and take the arms behind you into a little rocket lunge, whether your heel is down or not, and then lower the heel as you step the right foot back up to meet the left in your chair pose. I know those legs are tired, but we're going straight into the left side, starting the taps behind us. Left leg starts, tap the toe and return to chair. Right leg, tap the toe behind, return to chair. 3 times on each leg, keeping the bum low in our chair pose. Spine nice and long, and then on the left side, opening up to warrior 2. This time right leg is bent, left leg is straight. We're gazing over the right hand and arms are at a T. Pay special attention to that front leg, keeping a deep bend. Exhale here and inhale to reverse your warrior, this time taking right hand to the sky along with your gaze, and the left hand can be behind the back or on the back leg. Again, keeping a deep bend in the right leg, even as it gets very, very tired. Exhale back to your warrior 2 and inhale into your star pose, finally stretching out that right leg, extending arms and legs out to the 4 corners. gaze to the sky, exhale into your goddess squat. Hands at heart center as we take our bounces here, just moving a few inches up and down, keeping the squat in the legs and the spine nice and long, sitting up tall, feeling the burn in those quads. Hips are nice and open and core is engaged. Inhale back to your start pose and exhale back to warrior two. Take a deep breath here before lifting the back heel off the mat and squaring off the hips to your high lunge. Biceps by the ears, back leg is nice and straight, deep lunge into the front leg. Increase the challenge by lifting that front heel off the mat before taking a hinge forward, sweeping the arms behind you into a rocket lunge. Inhale here, exhale as you step the back foot back to meet the front into your chair pose. Take hands to heart center, one more inhale and exhale as you extend mountain. Reach the hands up to the sky, straighten the legs, exhale forward fold. Let those quads relax, stretch out the hamstrings, wiggle the hips. You've worked so hard strengthening those legs. Plant the hands and step back into downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale here, feeling the heart rate lower a bit. Lower the knees to the mat and sit on the heels. We're going to take a quad stretch here, slowly walking the hands behind us and lowering the torso towards the floor. You can stay here on the hands or walk the elbows down so you're lying more flat towards the floor. Wherever you feel that stretch in the quad, go to where is best for your body and where you can feel a stretch there. When you're ready, slowly come back to a seated position. Take the knees about as wide as your mat and the big toes to touch. Let the chest sink low to the mat in a wide-legged child's pose. You can always take your head or chest to a yoga block or pillow to make this work better for your body. This should be a nice release to the hips, so if you're feeling super uncomfortable, adjust as needed. Gently ease out of your child's pose and bring the weight forward until you're resting on your belly on the mat. Prop yourself up on your elbows and the right heel towards the right glute and grab it with the right hand. Again, stretching the quad by pushing that heel towards your bum. Feeling that intense stretch in the front of the hip and in the quad muscle, going to where it feels nice for your body, keeping a deep breath, and then slowly release, taking the same thing on the left side. Gently release the left foot and use the hands to push the weight back to rest on the heels for one more child's pose. Stay in your child's pose for as long as you would like. Relax here. You've worked so hard. When I have worked a particular muscle group like my legs extra hard, I like to give them some TLC by using my Hydragun massage therapy gun. With 7 different attachment heads and 6 different speeds, it is the perfect way to speed up your recovery and ease muscle aches and pains. It's also great to use before bed for deeper relaxation and better sleep. You can use my code 6FitYogi on your purchase of the Hydragun to save $10 until June 1st, 2022. It is such an amazing tool for anyone who leads an active lifestyle. I can't recommend it enough. Link is in the description.